There's been interest in what's in my work totes, so today I'm going to give you a tour. First, we're going to start with the tote itself. This tote I actually purchased at Ewing Irrigation. I have bought a couple of totes online and haven't been real happy with them. They've broken. This one's been real sturdy, and it's big enough to hold the quart container of glue, which is important. So we'll start with the glue. If you're used to using the Weld-On brand of glue, of the 721, it's the exact same formula. Weld-On actually created the formula, and Christie's is using that same formula now. This is the Weld-On primer, the P70, and you notice this is a pint versus the quart of glue. And I found that in most cases, I'll use one of these to two of those. And that's just about right, because eventually crud and stuff gets in here and it's, you know, not that nice after a bit. So I keep the glue here at this end so that when I'm gluing stuff, I'm dripping stuff on the side here and not all over my tools and stuff. Next we have repurposed cocoa container. And this fits nicely in here. First item in here is a repurposed toothbrush. I don't buy these new. When I get done using them for brushing my teeth, then they go in my totes. Use this for cleaning threads and stuff like that. Here's my Milwaukee needle nose pliers. And I have this shown also in my Milwaukee video. But I don't use this very often, but it's handy when I need it. I use it mostly for pulling screens out of pop-ups. And this is a quick cut. It's made by Dawn Industries. And I really like this. It's nice and handy. I mostly use this for cutting pipe, obviously, but when it's sharp, sometimes it's easier to hold it with the pliers. It's that easy. I also use it for cutting drip tubing, nice and quick, and also for swing pipe, sometimes called funny pipe. This is my channel locks. These are long-handled pliers. I like these. I'm 6'2", and so it's a nice size for me. And my Milwaukee jab saw. It's a folding jab saw. I mostly use this for cutting pipe that is in tight spaces where I can't use this, or my ratchet cutter. Right now I'm trying out this 24 teeth blade in hoping that I can have finer shavings than the 18 tooth blade that I had been using. This is the Milwaukee 5186. So several of these tools in here are on my resources site on the tools page. You can purchase them there if you need. The next item is the Husky pouch. You can clip it on your belt, but I mostly just clip it on my front pocket. Then it has a D-ring if you need to hang it on something. But I picked this up at Home Depot. I haven't found it online. And it holds two of these Rainbird pop-up tools. These are nice and handy. And I have a video linked below specifically for this tool showing you how it works. You can comfortably fit 2 in here. You can cram 3 in here, but I keep my extra one down here in this cup. And then here I've got my Milwaukee felt tip markers. And I keep these down, the tips down, so that the ink stays down there in the tips. If you turn it upside down, that won't be the case. So because of that, I mark it, the end of it here, with black and silver so that I can tell which one is which. And the last thing in the pouch is my channel lock screwdriver, little tiny guy. I use that for adjusting nozzles. Then I have these 2 cups. And I think I got these at the dollar store. Like, I think there was 6 in a pack. But they're nice and sturdy. They've never broken. And they serve a dual purpose. They hold these things here, which I'll show you. But I also use them for scooping water out of holes. So here, whenever I use a 1/2 inch by 6 inch cutoff riser, if I only use a portion of it, like what's left here, I always put them in the cup. That way I know that I don't have to go scrounging around in the tote over here to find these small ones. I have them nice and handy right here. And I also have the extra Rainbird pop-up tool. I also have this Hunter tool. This is for the PGPs and the PGJs. And here's an even smaller cutoff riser. And here I have all 3 sizes of Teflon tape. Got the 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch. And in the bottom of this, I have these screens. This is for the standard Rainbird pop-up nozzles for 10 footers to 15 footers. This is for smaller than 10 foot plus the adjustable nozzles. And this is the Hunter screen. And I keep all these in here just in case I run across a pop-up that I'm working on that needs a nozzle or needs a screen. Okay, that's that for that side. Now on this side, I have this Corona trowel. And on some of my tools, I put my laminated label on here, so in case I accidentally forget it on a job, the people can call me. Hopefully they'll call me and let me know that I forgot it. Same thing with this here. I always put the label in a place that I typically won't be hitting against things so that it won't peel off. The rigid ratchet tool has a nice lock on it. Opens easily, and then you can fold it back out of your way. This thing is super easy and tough. Just do like that, and then you cut your pipe with it, and then boink, it undoes itself. I've used the Milwaukee version, not real crazy about it. It's larger and the spring mechanism didn't work on it, so I was always having to manually undo the blade. This blade is easy to replace. You just slide this over to one side, take the old blade out, put a new blade in. But I do sharpen this periodically with a file. It has a sharp edge on it right now. because I just sharpened it. Then we have 2 channel locks in here. This one, from my last job I was just on, this one's already set for 3/4 inch pipe, and this is for the 3/4 inch fittings. And I keep those handy. I set them the way they need to be when I'm doing a job so that they're ready to go. I can grab it and do what I need to real quick before the glue sets. So these are indispensable. Next we have the Easy Out tool. And this is for getting busted stuff out of, like if there's a busted off riser in here, just go in here and put this at an angle, put the Easy Out at an angle in there, you know, come out a lot easier. You just turn it, comes right out. So this will do 1/2 inch, 3/4, and I think it does 1 inch, I'm not sure. Next we have these rags. These are just my old Sprinkler Pros polo shirts. They're cut in about, I use scissors and just cut it about 6-inch squares. This is the Ucky one that I've used longer, and then I always have a clean one in there too. Eventually this will become the Ucky one, and then I'll pop a new one in. So this was just left over from a job that I replaced this with a pop-up because it was along a sidewalk. This was getting busted off. This I use for flushing mud and junk out of pipes. So I just thread this in to the fitting by taking this off or adding to it, depending on how deep I need to go. And then here I can do the same thing. I can just add on as needed so that when it's blowing the mud out, it blows it way past the hole that I've dug and won't be flowing back into it. So I usually carry about 5 of these cutoff risers in there. And this is the 1/2x3 extension cutoffs. And these I put in here in groups of 3, and I usually have 2 groups in there. And by doing this, it makes it easier to find, keeps them more organized in there, and then it also protects, keeps the threads clean. Extra pipes left over from jobs. I'll always use these somewhere. This is a displacement setup. This was an old riser from an old job, and I just put electrical tape over the end of it like that, and then I put 2 around this way, and it displaces the water in vertical pipes. So like when you're replacing a sprinkler valve, an anti-siphon valve, just push that down in there and it pushes the water out of the pipe. Extra riser, that's for that setup I just showed you. I can use this on that. And here's a cool one. This is from a job. I didn't make this. This was taken off of a job. But it has the threads on it here. This is glued in here, and then this is actually hose thread, so I can spin on a hose on here and then force water into the pipe if need be to flush a system out. And then on this end where the glue is, just as a matter of reference for me, I keep these 1/2-inch Marlex fittings. These are self-sealing, so I don't need to use Teflon tape on it. But when you put these together in 2 or 3, you now have like a U-joint. So you put these under the pop-up and the other end into the fitting, and then it can go this way or this way, and now your pop-up, instead of snapping off if it gets hit, it'll just bend over and you can just straighten it back up. And other than that, it's just a bunch of couplers left over from jobs that that I use for that other assembly I was showing you, where I use to flush out the pipes. And all these extra things, I'll use these somewhere. Once in a while when I have a chance, I pull all this stuff out, dump the dirt out, and start fresh. Now when you've got the glue all over the side of it like that, it actually peels off pretty easy. Show you here. I just periodically peel it off. It comes off. You can use a screwdriver or something like that on it if you want. Okay, that's what's in my tote.